Merry Christmas, jerk faces. It's your boy, Andy. You are watching Nocturnal Transmissions, brought to you by the Circle of Jerks podcast. It's the conversation you could be having during the day, but having at night. Yes, it is our special... it's not like... I say it like we do it every year, but this is our first year. But this is our, the pre-Christmas episode.
Our first annual pre-Christmas episode.
The first annual Christmas special, and I apologize for not having a special, Christmas-themed intro and background, but I've been busy as of late, so I didn't have time to make it really special. But I did, I put on the hat for you, so I hope that makes it up.
I got the hat too.
Yeah, right now we're wearing special hats just for you guys. Anyways, co-hosting with me as always is the one, the only, the homeboy Rob.
What's up, everyone?
Yes. It's been a very busy December for myself and Robert.
Oh, so God, yes.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure we'll get into all of that. And I was hoping to get into a Star Wars conversation, but Robert hasn't seen it yet, and so we can't do that. And
next week we'll have this discussion. I'm gonna probably end up seeing it by myself because everyone else is being jerks and seeing it without me. So.
It couldn't be helped, man. It couldn't be helped.
I understand.
But your girlfriend's not going to be in town, or?
Nope,
no?
She has to work. So my cousin might be coming up for Christmas though. So that's kind of cool.
Oh, coming up for Christmas?
Yeah, she's hanging out in San Diego for a few months.
Oh, okay.
She's kind of a drifter, if you will. Nomadic drifter.
Okay. Oh, she's one of them chicks. All right.
Yeah, she's interesting. Actually, she'd be someone I definitely like to have on the podcast. She'd be a very different guest than what we normally have.
Mm-hmm.
But,
I have a cousin like that too. She's pretty cool, and yeah, I think she'd be an interesting guest. Either probably more so for this show than as opposed to the regular podcast. But who knows? I'll put out the feelers and gauge your response.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Always.
Give you a night off. A much needed night off.
That was kind of what ended up happening last week. Is I got stuck, dealing with my cousin was in town, so I was trying to help out my parents with that, and then I've been working so much that I talked to you, like, it's just not gonna happen this week unless we find a guest.
Right. Yeah.
So we unfortunately had to miss last week. Andy told me I was fired.
Yeah, that's right. He, I
kind of feel like a little bit like
Robert was just messing up too damn much, and I was like, "What the hell, fool?"
Yeah, I keep getting fired and rehired, so.
I know.
Well, even
you're fired, and then I can't find a host. It's like, you're hired again. And...
Yeah.
You know how it goes.
It's like, mixture of both of our schedules. We, unfortunately, because we had some other plans for, for the gaming show we were going to try to do for this Christmas, kind of do a Christmas thing, but
yeah, that's right.
Just didn't quite come together this time around. So maybe we'll pre-film something this year and then have it ready for next year.
All right, we'll film something and then we'll release it next year.
There we go. We could do that.
Right? It's like one of those. That's actually kind of genius then, because then we could kind of like always tease it as like, do not open till Xmas. But which
There
yeah,
you go.
we'll only upload it until next year.
Exactly.
Yes. So yeah, I really wanted to talk about Star Wars, but
Yeah, well, I mean, we can still talk about Star Wars. I mean, I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing my annual. We were talking before the show started. I'm doing my annual Star Wars marathon that I do at Christmas time.
oh right.
And like some people, there's always that dilemma. Do I watch it in the order that they came out originally?
Mm-hmm.
Do you watch it in chronological order? This year, I chose to do it in chronological order. Actually, which I actually have never done that before. So it's been kind of an interesting how they kind of kept like a lot of because a lot of the continuity
Mm-hmm.
is definitely there, and it's interesting watching it that way.
Perhaps. Although
Yeah.
I think I told you about my revised Star Wars order, right?
We had talked about this. I forgot what your. It was a good idea too, like that you're
Right. So
like
yeah, I will illuminate the audience. So I came up with an alternate viewing order for the Star Wars movies. Well, pre this new trilogy, and so it doesn't matter. And so the order would be episode 4, 5, and then jump to the prequels, and you could either choose to start with 1 or start with 2. In my opinion, you could actually omit episode 1 and watch. So after 5, watch 2 and 3, and then hop back to episode 6. And I think that'd be that'd be a really interesting viewing order, because that way, especially if you're showing this to like kids, and you want to get and you want to make sure that they have like the full experience of getting that revelation in Empire, of Darth Vader being Luke's father, and then after that revelation, then you could go back to see how he became Darth Vader.
true. Yeah, uh, that's right. I remember that you talked about that. I think God, well, I forgot when we talked about that, but I thought that was actually kind of an interesting idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was probably a while back.
Yeah. Well, something that watching it chronologically for me has I a lot more questions concerning Obi-Wan Kenobi have been raised for me, because at the end of episode 3, him and obviously they're splitting up Anakin and Padme's they're splitting up Luke and Leia and figuring things out, and Yoda sends Obi-Wan to Tatooine, and he gives him that mission of like of training for to kind of commune with the Force and learn all that stuff. And so there's that. Okay, well, what exactly happened during that time? And in the in episode 4, his battle with Darth Vader or Anakin Skywalker, if you will. He takes a look at Luke, and he just has this because he was pretty much sparring pretty much on even footing with Darth Vader, and then all of a sudden he looks over at Luke, and he just almost has this look in his eye, and he just kind of almost just not gives up, but he realizes something, and he just
Yeah, so he has kind of like he gives Luke like kind of like this knowing look, and then he just kind of succumbs to being stricken down by Darth Vader.
And that's why I'm like, I want to know why he did that exactly. That's kind of where, and I'm wondering if it goes to that his time with him in his training and communing with the Force and because he kind of in episode 3 it alluded that he would be communicating with like Qui-Gon Jinn and all and some of those like type of guys and so I'm very curious as to like why what happened like with all that. So it's kind of an interesting something I didn't notice before in previous watches previous times watching all this.
Well, because at the time, Lucas didn't know it was going to be, a trilogy. And so, he was, only, his mind was only set on making, episode 4 or, as it was known prior, just simply Star Wars. So, yeah. Like a lot of the things that we praise him for now, like the twist of Darth Vader being Luke's father and then Leia being his sister, that wasn't even planned. The twist came for Vader to be his father in during the writing process and filming of episode 5. And I think a little bit of and then them deciding that Leia was going to be his sister. I think that too was also something that they worked out while working on and shooting episode 5.
Yeah,
because there was that scene in New Hope where Obi-Wan meets R2-D2, and he's like, "Oh, I don't remember owning a droid." Even though supposedly they went on like countless adventures, during the Republic period of Star Wars, and so and the Clone Wars. So yeah, a lot of little things, little continuity things, but also but to your point, just like those little things that you didn't really notice, even over multiple viewings, but for some reason you catch it this time, and you just kind of left kind of scratching your head. It's like, oh, I wonder what that was about.
Yeah, well, that's the great part about Star Wars is it always seems like there's something more that you catch, and it doesn't really get old in a lot of ways because of that.
Right.
And with this new set of adventures, you get a little bit more insight. Rogue now that I'm watching Rogue One, including included within this franchise as well, is kind of that nice buffer between episode 3 and 4. And because they talk about again the scroll down on episode 4, it's like, oh the Alliance, the rebellion, had their first big victory, and it's like you kind of think oh, what was that battle about? And then having Rogue One now, it's like, wow, that was they really struggled to get that those plans to Leia and all that stuff. So it was kind of watching that included with the first 6 is kind of a nice addition.
I'm starting to have different feelings about Rogue One. I'm not saying that I hated it. I thought it was a really good movie, but I didn't necessarily need to see them acquiring the plans for the Death Star. I mean, it's cool, but I don't think wholly necessary in the overarching stories of Star Wars.
necessary, probably not, but I think it was a fan service because a
Right?
lot
Yeah.
of fans
It's one of those
curious
like
as to,
it's
how
cool, but not necessary to the story.
what did they got it. Um, it's because it's one of those things. It wasn't just like like Leia and like a couple of droids that just happened to to yeah, we got the plans. It wasn't.
Oh, that was
It
yeah.
was
But
just
then
how. But I think we see, what I see in Rogue One is just how really expansive, the empire, the Galactic Empire is, and like what it's kind of, it's not just the Death Star. It's not just like Palpatine and Darth Vader, but like it's become so big. Um, it really has become this like crazy empire. That really just kind of over that course from episode 3 to just before 4 has become this huge thing.
mm.
So I mean, in that sense, it's interesting to see.
I mean, I think because I think when originally Star Wars came out, you kind of it was assumed that the Empire was this big organization, but you didn't necessarily get that until you saw, I guess, the Death Star. Because before, like when they're on Tatooine, it was just a few like handful of stormtroopers, but you didn't get
Right.
like the grandiosity. And even when you saw the Death Star, you still didn't get the sense that this was like this huge like governing body within the galaxy until Rogue One comes along, and then you see a lot more of like the infrastructure, I guess, as it were, where you
Right.
see you see the prison planet, you see the support ships, you see all these other things, and then it gives, and I guess it just fills in more of those kind of gaps where you kind of had to assume some stuff, but now they're just like kind of showing it to you, which does have its benefits and its drawbacks. But
Yeah.
again, I'm not
Well,
knocking Rogue One because Rogue One was good.
yeah, and the other thing that say what you will about like Force Awakens too, but I thought it was kind of interesting how if you really think about it, yeah, they destroyed the Death Star like twice essentially in Episode
Mhm.
4 and then in 6. But that wasn't necessarily the obviously that was just one section of the Empire. They didn't fully and that they didn't fully destroy it, and you kind of see that in Force Awakens where it's like where they may have made updates, but as far like obviously because both Palpatine and Vader are killed off, but that doesn't mean that like they just all of a sudden stopped having an empire. It's
Right?
like
Yeah, that's like at the
like
end
when Caesar.
at the end of Return of the Jedi, it was really weird because it's like just because you killed the Emperor and destroyed the Death Star doesn't mean that there isn't still like a bureaucracy or like or a military
Yeah,
that can keep that can keep the fight going. Just because you had this one victory and yeah, you killed off the Emperor, but that doesn't mean like okay, we're gonna stop being an empire.
yeah, it's it's like when Caesar was assassinated, Rome didn't end. It was still
Right.
like
Or well, yeah, yeah, when he declared himself emperor, and just because you killed him doesn't mean it's like, oh, Caesar's dead, so I guess we're reverting back to a republic.
yeah, that was never gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's so I mean I thought that was kind of like a nice touch in that sense,
Mhm.
and it also makes you wonder too that in that case, well, and I like I said I haven't watched the new one, but you obviously have that new like Sith Lord that's kind of overarching. Like, and I also wonder, okay, is he was he like Palpatine's like guy, or like what did he was he kind of like waiting in the wings for Palpatine to be destroyed? And all those are all like questions that I had, like because with when it comes to the Sith, like it's kind of the law of two, where there's one Lord, one apprentice, um, and that's kind of like how it stays. And there's like a kind of extra, extra canonical like Star Wars stuff that deals with the lore of the Sith and all that. So,
well, yeah, I mean, well, all those companion books or like expanded universe stuff, is no longer canon. So, the rich history that Star Wars once had is now gone.
well,
I mean, I don't mean to sound like such a downer about it. I don't mean to sound like a downer about it, but yeah, it's just like all the cool stuff that that you kind of we kind of grew up on, like now it's considered legends. Luke Skywalker had a wife, he had a kid, and he had many several descendants. But now that's gone, and what is it? And
yeah,
what is it? And then like even Darth Sidious, he comes back through like cloning or something, and yeah, just like all those like stories that that we thought were that we grew up on, that it's kind of, I mean, not to try and likening it to religion, but it's basically going in and to the Bible and it's like, oh, let's see, yeah, see this part here with Jonah and the whale, that's not real, that's not part of it anymore, or yeah, this thing about David, yeah, we're just gonna make a slight tweak to that. Okay, he fought a Chihuahua. There, okay, it's yeah.
right. I mean, I still enjoy that stuff too. So it's one of those. It's maybe, yeah, because like I said, that's what we grew up with. A lot of that extra stuff, and I like one of my favorite games actually is the Knights of the Old Republic series, where it's kind of set very. Yeah, I think it was like a couple hundred years before the events of.
I think it was 1,000 years before.
Was it? Yeah, it was like, yeah. It was it said quite a bit before all the events of the Star Wars films, and just kind of you learn a lot about the like the early history of like the Jedi and the Sith, and really really awesome series.
Yeah, I mean, I never played it, but I do remember the trailers that it came out with. Man, those are like mini movies. Those are so good.
Yeah. Yeah, and, well, because I've played the first one. I'm actually replaying the first one just because it's been so long, and man, it's very difficult, but it's so much fun. It's the graphically it's not the best anymore, but it's still like the story more than makes up for it. And I never played 2. I have it. I never played it, so I'll have to.
Did you play the other one that came out? What is it? Knights of the Eternal Throne?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's like it's still in the time of the Old Republic, but there's a parallel kind of empire made up of this like old Sith guy who basically this back when the Sith were like a really like big empire, he got booted out and then he went and formed his own like little kingdom, and so it's him and like one of his sons that goes and just like messes up that messes with both the Republic and the Sith at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
And so,
oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
And there was also an MMO RPG. It was just the Star Wars: The Old Republic. I never played that. Actually, I don't even know if they still have servers. I imagine they would probably still have servers and stuff up for that, but I don't know. I never really got a chance to do that at all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a gamer, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
I just know of them. I just remember like that game specifically is because the trailer was so awesome. And again,
they've had some good Star Wars games, like the Force Unleashed was pretty decent.
Oh yeah, I heard that was really popular. But I heard like the character Starkiller, he was like too like overpowered.
Yeah, that's true. So you have there's that. There's the original Battlefront games. For PS2. There was 1 and 2, and then now you have like the new Battlefront games, which are more just kind of like online games. But Electronic Entertainment or EA Sports, like they've fucked that. Like,
yeah, I heard it's not that great of a game.
Like it's like graphically, it's awesome, and in the parts like where you're playing online and stuff, it's fun. It is a lot of fun. I'll give it that. But for me, like I was hoping for more of a also a single player campaign, and you kind of where you're diving into maybe some like alternate storylines. Kind of maybe expanding upon the Star Wars lore just a little bit more. Like with the original Battlefront games did for PS2, it was kind of like you were in a different position. Like you played as like a stormtrooper in one, and so you got like a little bit of a different look and feel to a different perspective. And it's just not it. Now it's essentially just an online like first Star Wars.
Yeah, I also heard there. I also know that there's some controversy with the new Battlefront game because EA had included some in-game purchasing ability.
Yeah,
so like you didn't necessarily to gain like these unique like skins or characters or weapons or whatever. You didn't necessarily have to grind it out and like kind of earn it. But you could pay like I don't know, like $20 or $40 and you can get like Mace Windu's lightsaber or unlock Luke's the character of Luke Skywalker and stuff like that. It's like a lot. Yeah, I remember. Just a lot of people were outraged, but like particularly the gamers, who definitely saw this as a cheat. And it's like, well, then what's the point of having this game if you could just pay for all of your special abilities and you don't earn it by going and playing through the game and unlocking the rewards or whatever.
Yeah, I refuse to buy it because of that. It's just there's no.
Yeah, a lot of gamers on YouTube have come out and I'm not buying it simply because. But I heard the. Wait, I don't know if EA scaled it back or they removed it completely. I can't be. I can't be 100% sure. But they did something to kind of like compromise and appease the consumer. I just can't remember what it was.
Yeah, it's just but it was. You know what? It kind of fuck. They do a lot of really ridiculous shit with when it comes to their games. So unfortunately, they kind of did that with the new Star Wars Battlefront. Like the first one was like it was good. I liked it. I had fun with it, but like I said, it had no real like single player campaign, like actual like story mode, anything, which they had talked about that there was going to be that side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Never happened. It just released as like a multiplayer game, which is fine. And I didn't outright buy that game. I got it because when I got my PS4, it was part of the bundle. So, and I had other games that I got with it. So, so there was that. Then this new one, I was like, you know what? No. Once I heard all the backlash that was coming out with it, I was like, yeah, forget that. I'm not gonna give EA my money on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Other games, I'll get them, but I think I'll probably get the new FIFA game here pretty shortly. But other than that, like, no, I'm probably not gonna buy another EA game for a while.
Yeah. What was that soccer game that you were playing?
That was the
was that from
FIFA.
EA?
Yeah, that's an EA game.
Okay.
Yeah, like they're honestly their FIFA soccer games are pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They used to make EA actually used to make some really awesome games. Their hockey games were pretty good. Their NASCAR games were really good when they were making NASCAR games. I haven't played Madden in years. Those used to be good. I haven't played a Madden game in 10 years. The Tiger Woods golf games were really awesome. But they I bought one. I think it was like the last year that it was Tiger Woods. Now it's he's been kind of down and out for a while. They have
it's falling out of favor.
I think it's like Rory McIlroy is the kind of the face of it now, and it's just not the same. Like it's kind of the same idea where it's like, well, if you want to play on these courses, you can buy them. It's like, no, I should be able to like earn them through actually like actual playing. And there's no like couch co-op. You have to play with a friend. You had to play online, which is bullshit. And then
it's like I already paid 60, or like, I don't even know how much games go for now.
Like the last one I bought, it was like I think it was like 2013 or 14 edition, and it felt so incomplete to me. Like it didn't feel like a complete game. And like it's like, well, if you want to get these courses or like these players, you can buy them. It's like I should be able to like grind and unlock them. Like there wasn't even that like option.
Right, because I mean, what, you pay like $60 for the game already, and then they want like, oh, if you want to, and you basically want me to pay for the game like twice.
Yeah.
Or like for or for infinity, and it's like, are you freaking stupid?
Terrible.
What a bunch of jackasses.
Yep. But gaming wise, though, 2017 is a really good year for games. There was a lot of good ones that came out. What was it? I got it.
I'll have to take your word for that one.
Yeah, it's a lot of good stuff came out. You have was it one I'm actually the one game I've actually been playing a lot recently. It came out a few years ago, but I bought the new South Park game, Fractured But Whole. But when you buy that, it comes with the South Park Stick of Truth, which I had never finished. So I've been playing that a lot recently. I've been kind of trying to get the like for PlayStation, Xbox, a lot of current games. There's a lot of like trophies and like achievements that come with games to kind of help extend gameplay. And I'm trying to get the platinum trophy that comes with completing the game. I'm very close to getting that with the South Park Stick of Truth. But it's great because honestly, it's like I'm playing a new something like that. It's really good. So for fans, yeah, PlayStations are fresh into a hole, and you will not be disappointed.
Robert?
Yeah.
Okay, kind of like you're kind of glitchy there for a second.
So
I mean, okay, so I mean, what are your holiday plans or Christmas plans?
um, nothing too much. Yeah, my girlfriend's not coming down. Like I had hoped for um Christmas this year. I was gonna try to fly her down, but she has to work, so she's not able to be here. So I'll probably just do like kind of a small thing with my parents and immediate family. I think we're gonna do like prime rib, and that's pretty much it for Christmas. I don't really have too much going on when it comes to that. Um, I actually get the day off, which is kind of nice.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that's Christmas really like the last few years, like it's kind of lost its a lot of times like when you're growing up, Christmas is a huge deal. Family has to be together, all this stuff. I think like in the last few years, I don't feel to have that same feeling towards it. Um, Not like I hate Christmas or anything like that, but it's just more of like
Yeah,
it's
yeah, just
uh,
yeah, it's like you're less and less inclined to get a tree or decorate the house or things like that, and
yeah.
you
It's kind of it's unfortunate. I don't like how like feeling that way about it, but I'm just it's there's just so much going on all the time where it's just like yeah, it's like uh, Christmas, doing more stuff. It's just kind of like I don't want to. I just kind of want to like relax and just not do anything.
don't we all?
Yeah. Um, but the yeah, I don't know why. Like Christmas is just like it's not a. It doesn't have the same luster that it had. Like
I have.
what's wrong?
Oh, it's the OBS crapped out for just a second, but we're back online, so no worries.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like freaking out. I was like, oh, please don't let it be the internet. Please don't cut out right now. But no, yeah, sorry for the technical glitch there. Just the OBS, the software that I use to transmit this on the internet, glitched out for a second. But we're back. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat as you. Christmas just doesn't seem like Christmas anymore, and maybe it's because we're old men now, and it's just we just see it more as a kind of burden having to buy presents or spend or whatever. I guess because now that we're since we are adults now, we're starting to feel the financial sting of Christmas that our parents did back when we were younger.
Yeah.
So, but I think
And maybe
also if I think it'd be a lot different too if we had kids of our own,
yeah.
and
I was
just
just gonna.
and
I
just
was just gonna mention.
experiencing the holidays through them, and And just like, because because they're, especially if they're young children, they be experiencing it for the first time. And so in a way, as a parent, we would be experiencing it for the first time as well. And that might be also a reason why, if there's just isn't the same excitement or feeling for Christmas that we once did.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, so hurry up and have babies.
Maybe not quite just yet.
I mean, you're closer to it than I am, so that's the only reason why I'm saying.
True. Okay, I'll give you that. But what before because we're getting close to our time. What's one of your favorite like Christmas like memories? Like, what's something that you really enjoyed as a kid growing up for Christmas?
Huh.
Like, do you have like a particular gift or just like an experience that you might have had growing up that you really liked?
It's hard to say. I mean, I think I was blessed to be born into a very loving family, and so and having loving parents that would provide, and we have very lovely Christmases. Um, Perhaps I think I guess just the dinners with my immediate family a long time ago, because uh, I have a very big extended family. All my at least on my dad's side, because it's my dad's side that's here in America. And a while back they made a decision for the families to only meet for Thanksgiving and Christmas. It was all up to it was left to the individual families to you know have Christmases on their own, or if two families wanted to combo, then that was up to them. But yeah, I guess the dinners with my immediate family, my sisters and my parents, that was always an enjoyable time. Uh, Especially since my oldest sister, she would make she would make special Christmas dinners, like for a good stretch of time it was prime rib. Uh, but in these last few years, we've switched it up, and we started to do what is it? A shrimp boils, and so
Oh man,
yeah,
dude, I could go for one of those right now.
yeah. So yeah, like the last couple of years, in, instead of the more traditional prime rib dinner, we decided to do like shrimp boils. I remember the first year we did it. Yeah, we went full out. We got shrimp, we got clams, we got lobster tail, we got crab legs, corn, potatoes, andouille sausage. You know, it was pretty.
Actually,
It was pretty spectacular.
actually, next time we do filming, that's what we're gonna eat afterwards.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's a good place by my apartment,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so we'll do that after we film.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because actually, I think it was last year, or sometime or early this year. It was my first time having boiling crab.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and for those of you not familiar or who are not from uh, LA, it's this restaurant um, that serves boiled shrimp and kind of like what I described in a shrimp boil, but they're smothered in this really delicious kind of sauce, kind of spicy, kind of
Oh
peppery,
man.
but just delicious. Great over rice. Great over steamed rice.
Oh man, it so
And
is.
yeah, it was actually yeah, it was like it was either some earlier this year or sometime last year was my first time having it. Even though it's like the restaurant's been around for a great many years. Like it was around like yeah, I remember the first time I heard about it was maybe 8 years ago. Yeah, and I yeah, people would go, and there were very few even back then. There were very few locations, and so wait time was going upwards to like 2 hours.
Oh yeah, it was really crazy.
Yeah, and then yeah, people would go and like they would wait those 2 hours just to eat this. And but luckily, I waited until more locations opened up. Actually, one opened up in the valley where we live, and so yeah, that's where I went to go have it, uh, and it was dang good. Although I didn't realize I didn't know to order the rice, so I could pour the sauce over it. But luckily, a friend of mine let me have a bite of his, and I was like, oh crap! And then I waved the waiter over, and I was like, give me a freaking bowl of rice.
Oh man, that sounds. I could go for that so bad right now.
Mm, it is pretty
Um,
delicious.
as far as like Christmas memories for me,
Hmm.
um, one thing that I kind of miss a little bit is the we would go as like a family. We would kind of drive around. Usually like Christmas Eve or like yeah, it was usually Christmas Eve when we would do it, where kind of tour the people who did like a lot of the light decorations and stuff.
Hmm.
And back when I was growing up, I used to do it all over the place. It was definitely something that's you know um, missing now. Maybe partly because as like the last 20 years or so, we've definitely gotten more of not necessarily knocking this in a sense, but a lot more people who are you know don't celebrate Christmas at all. So like there's
Mm. Oh yeah,
more
the
people
war
are
on
just
Christmas.
yeah. And I'm not no, I'm not like saying there's a war on Christmas. Like no, that's not what I'm saying. It's just, but yeah, there's a reality of there's a lot of people who choose not to celebrate it for whatever the reason is, or or they're just like maybe like me where they're just like you know what, I'm tired. I'm just tired, and they don't want to go through the extra effort. But like, back when I was growing up, a lot of people did the the Christmas light decorations, and it was a whole big thing. And so it was kind of cool to after we would have dinner on Christmas Eve, going around and looking at all the different light decorations, and we drive around for a few hours checking out like different neighborhoods who did that did different things, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
definitely missed that a little bit. Um, the It was that, and what was something else that I would do on Christmas. Oh, and definitely having. And I'm not a big dessert guy,
Hmm.
but my grandmother would always make these great like homemade cookies, like different like pastries and cookies and stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, God, those are so good. uh,
Mm.
specifically, I loved
Oh
her.
yeah. Oh, you just reminded
Specifically,
me. My sister makes these really great like raspberry bars. Oh god.
ooh, You're gonna have to like steal me one, man.
Oh, for sure, of course,
Yeah,
of course,
of course.
of course, of course.
Uh, I miss my grandmother's ginger snap cookies. Oh
Oh,
man, those
ginger
were so good.
snaps. Yeah.
Yeah, those are really good. I love those.
Mm.
But those would be like some of my Christmas memories that I enjoyed a lot. Um, I mean, the presents, kind of like are are nice too. I've gotten some good gifts, but yeah, I definitely those are two memories I have of Christmas that I read a lot. That I definitely maybe didn't quite appreciate when I was younger, but I definitely appreciate them now.
Mm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. I guess just before we go, I guess one more thing to touch upon. But what is your favorite Christmas song?
Oh, great. Um, well, I might be kind of a Grinch, and I kind of hate Christmas songs.
Mm.
I
Really?
guess.
Even like the hymns?
Oh, okay. I will say this. I do like some of the hymns.
Okay.
For Christmas. I guess if I had to really,
I mean, if you want to break
my
it down
favorite
into,
Christmas.
if you want to break it down into categories, that's cool too. Like hymns, like and then like the pop songs, and then what have you.
No, I would say my favorite Christmas song, is probably the Grinch Who Stole Christmas theme song. The
The
You're a
what?
mean one,
Oh, the
Mr.
Grinch. Oh,
Grinch.
the Grinch was okay.
I
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that counts.
That's also one of my favorite Christmas movies.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
All right, we're talking about the old
and
school
I guess
cartoon, right? Not the live action.
yeah, with Boris Karloff, not the Jim Carrey
Okay.
one. No.
Mm.
Um,
Wait, Boris Karloff was the voice of the Grinch?
he was the narrator.
Oh, right. That's right. Okay.
And then well, I don't know if somebody would consider this a Christmas movie per se, but like
Mm-hmm.
The Nightmare Before Christmas, I kind of like a lot of the songs from that movie a lot too.
It's so funny because because back in my community college days,
Uh huh.
so like I took a voice class, which was essentially the choir, which was it was the voice class, but it was like all the voice classes put together and then turned into a choir because no one like signed up for choir or whatever. So they basically just took everyone like who wanted to learn how to sing and then put them in like kind of press them into the choir. And it was funny because
Right.
like every single year, or at least the years that I took that class, I only took it because they're easy A's, and it boosted my GPA. Anyways, um, so I I take this voice choir class, and like the ones who are really like kind of like the musical theater geeks, they always sang a song from that movie, Nightmare Before Christmas.
But yeah, no, it's a great movie. I don't know. I love it. I think
Oh no,
it is my all time favorite Disney movie.
oh really?
Yeah.
Hmm. It's weird because like I've only watched it once, but like it didn't like leave that much of an impression on me. I don't know why. I'm not saying that it was bad, but for some reason, like I don't like the song. Like I can't remember the songs. I can't really remember. You know, I can't really remember what the movie was about. But it's yeah. I guess it just didn't leave a lasting impression on me as opposed to some of the other Disney movies.
It happens. Like everyone has like their different favorites. I tend to like the ones that are kind of a little bit more obscure that nobody really talks about. Like, not too many people,
Like Songs of the South or whatever.
I was gonna say like Jungle Book. Like Jungle Book doesn't get talked about a lot.
Oh, yeah. Or Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Which I think was Robin Hood the precursor to Jungle Book, or was Robin Hood after Jungle Book? Because a lot of the characters kind of like cross over.
Yeah, I think Jungle Book came out in the 60s, I believe. I think they kind of came out around the same time. Okay. I'd have to look that up, to be honest.
Right. No, because Baloo makes an appearance in, of course, the Jungle Book, but then also like a more brown bear version of Baloo is also makes an appearance in Robin Hood. So
yeah. Yeah, well, and then Tailspin, I think I think that takes place in the Jungle Book universe. Like
yeah. Oh yeah, I love that cartoon.
God,
it's so
Tailspin. Good. Ooh. It's a great stuff. we honestly like our next time when we meet for this next week, we might have to talk about Disney cartoons.
We very well might need to.
Yeah, there's a lot of great topics there.
Mm-hmm.
Those would be like some of my favorite Christmas songs. I mean, you could throw in some of the songs from the Charlie Brown Christmas specials.
Oh yeah. Another solid pick.
I like a lot. I like some of the more obscure stuff. Like I don't like the typical ones you always hear. I guess if I had to choose like a traditional kind of Christmas song that everyone hears every year, I might have to go with like Bing Crosby, like White Christmas, just because it's Bing Crosby. Like you can't really go wrong with Bing Crosby.
Although there was some there was some controversy on Twitter because a school in England tweeted out, a fairly innocuous tweet. Do you want to guess what that tweet said? You want to try and guess?
I don't know. Merry Christmas to all and all a good night. I don't know.
Yeah. Whoever was in charge of the Twitter account tweeted out, "Dreaming of a white campus."
Oh crap!
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a fairly innocuous statement on its own.
Meaning that there's gonna be they want snow and all that good stuff.
Right. I'm sure that was the intent. That was the intent of the manager of that university's Twitter account. I'm sure that was the intent that they were going for, but of course people took it the wrong way and lost their shit. Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Of course. But I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas. That's that's my jam too. I love it. Yeah.
That's a good song. It is a good
song. It's only a freaking idiotic, heartless buffoon would take that song or take those lyrics out of context.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, Andy. I don't want to say. I'm sorry. That's my favorite Christmas song. You need to get out of my life. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, man. You got to get out.
Right? White supremacist. How dare you flaunt your white privilege in front of me?
Oh, definitely. Yes. Summon Bing Crosby from the dead to beat your ass down.
Right? All you have to he's like, beat your children with a bag of Valencia oranges. That way you don't leave any bruises. You mouthing off to me, boy?
Yeah.
I think my Christmas song selection is pretty similar to yours. Maybe excluding the Nightmare Before Christmas soundtrack, but also adding uh, Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas."
I've been hearing that a lot. Yeah.
Right? It's crazy. It's a classic, and recently, and it's funny because it came out in the '90s, and it just now broke the Billboard's Top 100, I think.
That's odd.
Yeah, right. I would think that it would have broken the top 100 back then. I mean, unless I didn't hear the story right, because I was just like I was watching news after dinner, and I was just kind of like flipping through the channels, and then I saw like something like real fast, but yeah, I didn't catch the beginning half, but I just remember them saying like, yeah, Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas," is broken, the top, Billboard's Top 100 this year. And I wonder if they just meant like this year or like, it finally broke it like after like almost, God damn, I think it might be almost like 20 years.
Yeah.
Because that song came out in like the late 90s.
Yeah, I remember when that came out, and it was just like, yeah, kind of nice, and then it's like, but it wasn't like super popular, and then all of a sudden, I keep hearing it all the time now.
Mm-hmm. It's a good song.
But yeah, normally like when there's a lot of Christmas songs that end up coming on the radio, I'm like, please just shoot me in the face.
Wham.
I don't know if I might have to share the link on our Twitter account, but like there's a great bit on from one of the YouTube channels that I like to watch, the Cinemasker channel. And it's their segment of It's Bullshit, and it talks about Christmas and how it's just it's like one of those holidays that is just kind of like taken over. Like we hear about it like even before Halloween, and it goes on till after January, and it's like some of the just ridiculousness of it. It's great. And
so why it lasts after its supposed date? Because it's awesome.
Maybe. Well, I think we hit our hour.
Yeah,
it
never seems like we're gonna hit the hour, but
I wasn't sure if we were running late. Like I think we're both really tired. I know I've worked well over 200 hours this month, so I'm pretty exhausted.
Yeah, like just before I had to do a bump of cocaine, just to keep my eyes open. I didn't really. It was heroin. Just kidding.
Yeah.
All right.
Andy's doing his 8 balls over there, so.
I know, right? My life is hard. I'm just kidding. All right. Well, I guess that'll do it for us tonight. Thank you for joining us, as always. We do this. Well, I can't say. I mean, as of late, I can't say that we always do it on Tuesday, but we do it mostly on Tuesdays at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. If you have any, leave us a comment. Like this video, share it with your friends, share it with your parents. Some sad news. If you didn't know, the platform that we were on, the other platform that we were on, actually shut down.
Shit.
Yeah. So there's no more. There's no longer going to be a mirror of this up over there. So there's no real reason to plug it anymore, I suppose. It's their own fault because they didn't make it competitive enough, and there weren't enough incentives for creators to go over there and like do that, that platform's that platform exclusive content. because they're just getting started. They're just they're trying to go up against Google, YouTube, and yeah, it's just one of those David and Goliath things. I really wish it had worked out because we had a decent following over there, but whatever.
Well, hopefully they'll transfer over to our YouTube page and.
Right? Yeah. I mean, we had it was fun. It was ironic enough. They it was VidMe allowed people to link even their social medias, but also like YouTube channels. Their YouTube channels. So hopefully the VidMe viewers will migrate over here. But anyways, with that being all said, thank you for joining us. We hope you have a very Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next week.
Sounds like a plan to me.
So, see you.
See you guys.